What I think we're really dealing with today are battles between cosmologies. Cosmologies are essentially worldviews that have become dominant in the culture. A cosmology might be a Christian cosmology, that God created the heavens and the earth, and we are all the product and progeny of this God creation. A more current atheist cosmology might be that the Big Bang exploded. We don't know why, but it did. Boom, universe, so many billions of years ago. Fire cooled, molecules formed, planets developed, and then solar systems. And now we've got planet Earth, which over the course of many millions of years eventually dawned many forms of life, including Homo sapiens. So I think that most of our political problems today are found in the root of these cosmological disagreements. Unfortunately, we're not discussing our cosmologies. We just all believe that we've got the right one. and so what we then are arguing and talking about are these ideas that actually stem from our cosmologies that have gone unexamined for our entire lives. The truth is that we need to think about where this stuff is coming from. Where are your deep convictions rooted? I believe they're probably rooted in a cosmology. Now, there's a pervasive cosmology today that I think needs to be questioned, that many people are not questioning, and that is this fundamental cosmology that we are random, that life is random, that everything is meaningless, that basically we just are part of this weird genetic Darwinian explosion, and that survival of the fittest simply means that survives, that thing doesn't, and that there's really no rhyme or reason behind it. It's just life, whatever that means, dominating other life and surviving. And this has lent itself into a very dark direction of the mechanization of human beings. This idea that we're just machines, that this body, this human body, is really just a machine eating, procreating, and dying. And that is all there is to it. And to attach any other meaning would be dogmatic and therefore invalid scientifically, so it has to be thrown out. The only safe position that we have is to say we're a bunch of randomly formed machines competing for survival. Think about what that cosmology does to you psychologically. Think about how believing that, and there are other things that you could believe, but believing that extracts all of the sacredness and humanity out of you, out of others. It assumes this kind of callous, robotic nature of mankind, which there's plenty of evidence to the contrary, that that's not who we are. Now, you can argue that viewpoint if you wish, but it's not that well-founded in human history. Human history is full of self-sacrifice and compassion and caring and questioning of why we're here. There's not necessarily an answer we can all agree on, but there's definitely the question. And why are we drawn to this question if we're just robots? Why would we give a damn about where we came from if we're just here to procreate and survive? Clearly, we're being led to ask for more meaning, to ask why we're here. And this leads me to question this whole paradigm and to really say, watch out, because what we're seeing in the planet, in the evolution of planetary culture, is stemming from this very materialistic, mechanistic mindset that we're just here to dominate and control and survive, and that there is no compassion, no sacredness to life, no sacredness to anything other than ourselves. This has caused this domination of the planet, this rape of the planet as we see it today, where we're just dumping waste everywhere. You know, oh, it's just plastic, it's just this, it's just that. It makes things more convenient for me. It saves me a couple of seconds or a couple of dollars to do it this way, so I'm going to, you know, murder millions of organisms in the sea because I don't give a shit. All right? That's where this mentality has led. This mentality of I don't care because I'm a robot is a moral cop-out. And it's leading to so much of the destruction that we're seeing in the world today. We are part of this planet. Here's another cosmology I want to offer you, okay? In competition with the mechanistic one that many of us seem to be suffering from. All right, here's another possibility. We are stardust. The whole Big Bang came out of one singular idea. Whether that is to be or not to be, or if there's any consciousness behind it, who knows? But it is a theory of creation. And from that creation, everything is part of that initial inciting idea to be, to explode, to create. Okay? And everything is essentially in cause and effect style. Everything is born from that. And so everything reflects that initial impulse to live, to exist. And so we've got all these planets and stars and moons all in action because of that, and all born from that very same essence, that very same initial idea, that same initial mass of energy, matter, whatever you want to call it. And we here on this planet are all born from this very same thing. We're all essentially distant cousins from every other planet, from every other star. We're all built of the same substance, the same stardust. And you see in this planet how much we have in common with all the other species. How many of us have 5 fingers on each limb? And how many of us share the brain and the organs in the same similar places? I mean, everything is this grand adaptation from the same singular ancestral history. We're essentially all one. This planet, as many scientists have said, is alive. We're the ears and the eyes of the planet. We're seeing and reflecting on what we have become over billions of years of living. So, this is not random. It's not something we understand. The order of it may not be understood, but that does not mean that it is random. We are conscious. We don't know what that means, but it is something. It's not unconscious. It's not meaningless, random generation of numbers. That's a judgment that you put on things to say it's meaningless, to say that it's lacking in something. Obviously, it's a judgment to say it has meaning. But as we are meaning-making creatures, it very much suggests that perhaps there's something in the nature of things that wants meaning. Perhaps there is meaning in everything, and that's why we constantly seek it out instinctually. So, the other aspect of this is the sacred. Now, it's a choice whether to declare something sacred or not. And many of us choose not about many, many things. And you can see this showing up in our culture more and more. There's a lot more vulgarity and just, shame for others and disrespect in general for elders, for life itself. We're letting go of our sacred values. Now, I think our sacred values definitely should be questioned because we come with a lot of baggage of assumptions, dogmatic assumptions of what is sacred and what is not, which prevent us from progressing, from learning anything new. Religions are notorious for holding back progress because they say, no, this is sacred, including the Earth-centric model of the universe, which of course was very lacking by the time Copernicus and Galileo discovered that can't possibly be true. The heliocentric model is much more realistic. So there's sacred things that we need to let go of, but there are also things that we need to hold as sacred. Just to be human, just to be respectful and loving and caring for each other. I mean, this is just fundamental to human nature, and we're flushing it out because we believe that we're robots. And we're not robots. We're human beings. We have billions of years of genetic history going into our creation. Until we understand the genetics of how we create ourselves, as well as genetics understands itself, I don't think we're qualified to say we can replace ourselves with robots and they'll be superior. Where's the connection to 14 billion years of planetary history? Where's the connection to life itself, to the fundamental Big Bang, or whatever other creation event you want to believe in? Where's the connection to all of that? Where's the meaning in that? And I think you can see that so much of our disagreements in politics and social society have to do with these fundamental errors, these fundamental disagreements that we don't even know where they're rooted, which is why we need to start talking cosmology.